Hello, welcome to the McGuffey's Online Tutor. Today's lesson is from the third Eclectic Reader, Lesson 4, Castle Building, Part 1. Today we have quite a list of new words in our lesson that I would like you to listen for. So please, if you have a pen and paper, write them down and say them to yourself several times. The words are anger, a noun which means a strong feeling of displeasure. Castle, a noun which means a strongly fortified, permanently garrisoned stronghold. Foundation, a noun meaning the lowest division of a building or wall. Rattling, an adjective that means that rapid succession of short, sharp sounds, as in consequence of agitation. Tower, a noun that means a building or structure high in proportion to its lateral dimensions. Dismay, a verb meaning to break down the courage, as by sudden danger or trouble. Sofa, a noun that means a long, upholstered couch with a back and two arms. Interested, an adjective that means having the attention or curiosity engaged. Passion, a noun meaning any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling. Pile, a noun meaning an assemblage of things laid or lying one upon the other. Mimic, a verb meaning to imitate or copy in action, speech, etc. Nodded, a verb meaning to make a slight, quick downward bending forward of the head. Exclaimed, a verb meaning to cry out or speak suddenly. Already, an adverb meaning by this or that time. Spilled, a verb meaning to cause or allow to run or fall from a container. Wow, that was a very long list. Don't you think so? That is why you should write them down and practice reading them. Now, I will begin reading the lesson, which is about, as you may have heard earlier, castle building. Let's begin.
Oh, Pussy!
Cried Herbert, in a voice of anger and dismay, as the blockhouse he was building fell in sudden ruin. The playful cat had rubbed against his mimic castle, and tower and wall went rattling down upon the floor. Herbert took up one of the blocks and threw it fiercely at Pussy. Happily, it passed over her and did no harm. His hand was reaching for another block, when his little sister Hetty sprang toward the cat, and caught her up.
No, no, no!
Said she.
You shan't hurt Pussy. She didn't mean to do it.
Herbert's passion was over quickly, and, sitting down upon the floor, he covered his face with his hands, and began to cry.
What a baby,
said Joe, his older brother, who was reading on the sofa.
Crying over spilled milk does no good. Build it up again.
No, I won't,
said Herbert, and he went on crying.
What's all the trouble here?
Exclaimed Papa, as he opened the door and came in.
Pussy just rubbed against Herbert's castle, and it fell down,
answered Hetty.
But she didn't mean to do it. She didn't know it would fall. Did she, Papa?
Why, no. And is that all the trouble? Herbert,
his papa called, and held out his hands.
Come.
The little boy got up from the floor and came slowly, his eyes full of tears, and stood by his father.
There is a better way than this, my boy,
said Papa.
If you had taken that way, your heart would have been light already. I should have heard you singing over your blocks instead of crying. Shall I show you that way?
Herbert nodded his head, and Papa sat down on the floor by the pile of blocks, with his little son by his side, and began to lay the foundation for a new castle. That was quite a story. Would you like to know what happens next? So far, I think the story is trying to demonstrate that when bad things happen in our life, we should not just give up and cry or get angry. Instead, we must act morally, mature, and act responsibly. And do something about it in a constructive fashion. You may want to reflect on some similar instances in your own life. How do you respond when bad things happen? Be sure to visit us again for part 2 of castle building. Well, this is the end of today's lesson, and I hope you visit us again at mcguffysonlinetutor.com for more lessons and worksheets. Goodbye.